At the heart of ancient North Germany culture lies a rich set of tales and beliefs known as Norse mythology. This complex system of legends, originating in Old Norse religion, has survived the test of time, resisting even the Christianization of Scandinavia, and continues to influence the folklore of the modern era. The cosmos of the Scandinavians is a complex and fascinating universe that consists of 9 worlds that revolve around the central sacred tree, Yggdrasil. These worlds are home to a variety of creatures, from gods to humans to giants. Mythology is a living collection of stories that describe the interaction between the gods and other beings. The creation of the world according to Norse mythology is a fascinating story. The world is said to have been formed from the flesh of the primordial being Ymir, and the first 2 humans were Ask and Embla. These worlds were foretold to be reborn after the cataclysmic Ragnarök, a great battle involving the gods and their enemies that resulted in the world being engulfed in flames, only to be reborn again. Norse mythology has been the subject of scholarly debate since the 17th century. Though comparative mythology and historical linguistics, scholars have identified elements of Germanic mythology that reach back to Proto-Indo-European mythology. In the modern period, the Romantic Viking revival has reawakened interest in the subject, and references to Norse mythology can now be found throughout modern popular culture. The majority of these Old Norse texts were created in Iceland, where the oral tradition originating from the pre-Christian inhabitants of the island was collected and recorded in manuscripts. This occurred primarily in the 13th century. Among these texts is the Poetic Edda, a collection of poems from earlier traditional materials compiled anonymously in the 13th century. Numerous supplementary texts such as the sagas provide additional information. The corpus of sagas consists of thousands of tales recorded in Old Norse, ranging from Icelandic family stories called sagas of the Icelanders to tales from the migration period that mention historical figures such as Attila, called legendary sagas. Objects and monuments such as the Runestone rock and the amulet Kvinnaby contain runic inscriptions, texts written in the runic alphabet, the indigenous alphabet of the Germanic peoples, which mention figures and events from Norse mythology. In the Norse cosmos, all beings live in the 9 worlds, which are centered around the cosmological tree, Yggdrasil. The gods inhabit the celestial realm of Asgard, while humanity inhabits Midgard, an area at the center of the cosmos. Outside of the gods, humanity, and the Jotnar, these 9 worlds are inhabited by creatures such as elves and dwarves. Myths often tell of journeys between worlds where gods and other beings can interact directly with humanity. The tree itself has 3 main roots. At the base of one of these roots live the Norns, female beings connected to destiny. The afterlife is a complex issue in Norse mythology. The dead can go to the dark realm of Hell, a realm ruled by a female creature of the same name. But they can also be carried to Valkyries, to Odin's battle hall, Valhalla, or be chosen by the goddess Freya to live in her field, Folkvangr. Time itself is represented between cyclical and linear, and some scholars argue that cyclical time was the original format of mythology. Various forms of cosmological story of the creation of the world are found in Icelandic sources, and some texts often refer to a future destruction and rebirth of the world, Ragnarök. After the cataclysm of Ragnarök, 2 people from the same tree, Liv and Livsvrazir, are prophesied to repopulate the new and green land. Delving deeper into the complex of plot of Norse mythology, we find ourselves on the threshold of a darker and more mysterious realm. This ancient belief system known for its pantheon of gods and complex cosmology, also hides a shadowy essence. It is this realm that we encounter the denizens of our nightmares, creatures that lurk in the corners of the 9 worlds. They are complex and multifaceted and are an integral part of the Norse myth. These creatures are the embodiment of the fears and anxieties of the ancient North Germanic people, a reflection of the harsh and unforgiving environment in which they lived. We take a journey into the chilling heart of Norse mythology to uncover the stories of the most terrifying creatures that inhabit this ancient belief system. Hogbui. In the dark recesses of Norse mythology, where the line between the living and the dead blurs, lives a chilling creature, Hogbui. This ghostly creature is a figure that remains tethered to its mound. It is the eerie embodiment of the ancient North German people's perception of death and the afterlife. The term Hogbui, derived from Old Norse, means mound dweller. This ghostly figure is not a wandering spirit, but a person who is bound to his grave, an eternal guardian of the earthly remains and the treasures buried therein. Hogbui does not enter the world of the living on a whim. He stands in a dormant state, and his sleep can only be disturbed by those who dare to defile his resting place. The ancient Norse believed that the Hogbui possessed insatiable hunger, a trait believed to be common to all the dead. This hunger was not for food, but for life itself. The creature devoured the life force of anyone who dared to disturb its peace without just cause. The tales of Hogbui serve as a vivid reminder of the respect the Scandinavians had for the dead and the sanctity of funeral rituals. The destruction of the grave is not just disrespect, but an invitation to ghostly encounter with Hogbui, an experience that drains the life from the living. The Draugr. In the chilling chronicles of Norse mythology, few creatures inspire as much fear as the Draugr. This undead ghostly creature, rising from its grave, is a terrifying testament to the fears and beliefs of the ancient North Germanic people about death and the afterlife. Draugr is a term derived from Old Norse and translated as walking again, or one who walks after death. Unlike Hogbui, the again walker is not bound to his grave. Instead, he enters the world of the living, driven by a malevolent desire to cause harm and chaos. These creatures are often depicted as tall figures, possessing strength far exceeding that of a living person. They are said to be able to increase in size at will, and carry with them an unbearable stench of decayed flesh that is a grim reminder of its mortal origins. But the most terrifying feature of the Rewalker is perhaps its insatiable hunger. It is believed to devour not only flesh and blood, but also the life force of its victims, draining it away, leaving only lifeless husks behind. The abilities of the Rewalker extend beyond the physical realm. He is believed to possess the ability to shapeshift, control time, and even see into the future. These ghostly creatures are not just remnants of the dead. They are powerful and capable of wreaking havoc among the living. The tales of the Rewalkers are a reflection of the fear the Norse had of the undead. The Rewalker is not just a creature from nightmares, but a very real fear, a ghostly figure that embodies the terror of death and the potential horrors that await man in the afterlife. This figure is symbolic of the ancient Norse understanding of life, death, and the delicate balance that exists between them. Fenrir. In the intricate web of Norse mythology, where gods and mortals move in the cosmic dance of fate, one creature stands out for its immense power and the terror it inspires: Fenrir. This monstrous wolf, born of the rogue god Loki and the giantess Angerbada, is a chilling embodiment of the ancient North Germanic people's understanding of chaos and destruction. Fenrir is not just a wolf. He is a creature of prophecy, a beast whose destiny is intertwined with the very end of the world. From his birth, the gods have feared him. His rapid growth and fearsome strength are seen as signs of the devastation he is destined to bring. In their fear, the gods try to bind Fenrir with various chains, but the wolf breaks free each time, his strengths proving greater than any shackles they can devise. Only by trickery, using a magical band called Gleipnir, made of 6 impossible things, do the gods finally manage to bind the beast. But this victory came at a price. The brave god Tyr, who was the only deity brave enough to feed Fenrir, lost his arm in the wolf's merciless jaws. Yet the tying up of Fenrir is not the end of his story. It is foretold that during Ragnarök, the cataclysm that marks the end of the world, he will break free of his bonds. In his rage and hunger, he will devour heaven and earth, and even Odin, the almighty of the gods, will fall into his monstrous jaws. At that moment, Fenrir will embody the chaos and destruction that the ancient Norse consider an inevitable part of the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Jormungandr. In the vast cosmos of Norse mythology, where gods and giants struggle for power and mortal beings live their lives, there exists a creature of such immense size and power that it embodies the very notion of infinity. It is called Jormungandr. This colossal sea serpent, also known as the Midgard serpent, is a chilling symbol of the ancient North Germanic people's understanding of the cyclical nature of existence and the destructive force that lurked beneath the surface of the world. Jormungandr is also a descendant of the rogue god Loki and the giantess Angerbora. He is so huge that he envelops the world of Midgard, holding his own tail in his mouth. This image of a serpent biting its own tail is known as Ouroboros. It's a powerful symbol of the cyclical nature of existence, the endless cycle of creation and destruction, as well as life and death. The Serpent of Midgard is a creature of prophecy, whose fate is intertwined with the gods and the end of the world. It is said that when Ragnarok's time comes, Jormungandr will release his tail and rise from the depths of the sea. The resulting flood will engulf the world, and the serpent will poison the sky. In this cataclysmic battle, Jormungandr and the god Thor, protector of mankind, will kill each other, and their deaths will mark the end of the old world and the beginning of the new. The Mare. In the realm of Norse mythology, there is a creature that inhabits the most vulnerable and intimate human space, the dream world. In Old English, the name of these creatures was Mare, or from Proto-Germanic, Maren, hence the Mara part of the English word for nightmare, nightmare. The word is thought to be etymologically related to Sanskrit Mara, demon. In Finnish and Swedish folklore, the creature is called the Mare. It is a chilling embodiment of the fears and anxieties of the ancient North Germanic people associated with the unseen forces that invade our sleep. Coil can take different forms. It is a ghostly entity, an ethereal being that exists in the realm of dreams and nightmares. It is believed to come and sit on the sleeper's chest, whispering bad dreams to them and creating a sense of fear and dread that can turn a peaceful sleep into a terrifying ordeal. The coil is not a prophetic being or a participant in the cosmic battles of the gods. It operates on a more personal level, invading people's dreams and turning their subconscious fears and anxieties into vivid, terrifying nightmares. The mare is a creature of the night, a ghostly figure that embodies the fear of darkness and the unknown horrors that can invade our dreams. Support us by subscribing to the channel.